Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Drum roll. So today I have a guest. She's a guest on this channel, but of course she's my very dear friend. And her name is Oyegoke Wurola.
Nice to be here.
Yes. Thank
Hi,
you so much for
everyone.
coming.
No, the pleasure is mine. For
Thank
real.
you. Thank you.
Like, finally, I get to be on Winama's channel.
Really? You're a discussed commodity. Okay, so today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, which is finding a church in the new environment. So, of course, we when I was in medical school, I wasn't living in Lagos, and I wasn't. So when I moved back to Lagos after school and all that, the major issue I had was what church do I want to go to? And it was such an issue because, of course, I do not come from a Christian background. And prior to that, when I gave my life to Christ in Babcock, I went to a fellowship, so I've not really had any church I'm committed to in Lagos. So I was thinking about what church I want to go to. I've had churches that I love, I want to be a member, but then after about distance and all that. So it was such an issue, and then it took me a while. Like, it took me almost 6 months before I finally, if not more, to finally found out, okay, this is the church where I feel God will have me be. So the question is, yeah, so now I just wanted to ask, I just wanted to talk about it. How did she also find out? Because she also moved back to Lagos. How did she find out what church she wanted to go to and all that? And then is it by just intuition? Do you get led by the Holy Spirit? So those are things that we'll be discussing. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Mm.
We hope you enjoy it.
Yes, you will. Okay, so the first question I'm going to be asking Laura is, how was it finding a church when you got back to this?
Well, to be honest, because I've had history in choosing a church. Like when I was in school, I had to change churches, so I kind of learned a lot from that experience. Like in the middle, having to change everything. So I now became very intentional in where I go to worship God. Because for me, worship or church is a very intimate experience. So I really want it to be something that I enjoy doing, So that's me personally. So when I moved to Lagos, I remember that I intentionally didn't go to church the first Sunday. I was like, let me still start, let me get used to the environment. And then when I did want to go, I knew where I did not want to go. So I think that's where you can start. Know where you probably feel already from maybe your history or your background, where you feel, okay, I might not really enjoy this experience. So that limits your options to another, maybe if you had 10 before, it limits your options to like 5. Then I knew that I wanted to have kind of like a new experience from what I was used to when I was growing up. Because I grew up in a Christian home, so we have our family church, but I already said I'm already used to their way of doing things. I want to try another way. If unless God directs me to go back there. So for me, yes, being led by the Spirit of God is key. One, know where you don't want to go or where you think you might not want to go. So when I got to Lagos, funny enough, how I chose my church eventually was just on a friend's recommendation. And for me, proximity is key.
Your church was very close to where you were staying at the time.
Yes. Like even now, when I moved again from Lagos, choosing a church is like one of the main things is proximity. I like going to where I can easily get to, close to home, close to work. Yes, so that I know that I can quickly dash to church, dash from church to work because of the nature of my job, that kind of thing. So proximity is key for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, for me, actually, it was quite an interesting experience because I was trying to be opened. So I didn't have any church in mind that I did not want to go to. So I tried all churches. I went to all churches. Like I don't want to mention names, but I went to over 10 churches, and I went to quite a number of churches, and then I knew that I've not gotten to my church. Basically, I just knew this is not my church. So I kept going and all that. And then I had a functional relationship with God. So it was a matter of, even though I was in the church and I enjoyed the service, it was a living church. I didn't go to any church that I didn't feel the presence of God. It was a living church.
Key point.
So it wasn't about not being a living church. It was a fact of other things like, is it close to my workplace? Can I be a committed member there? Do I agree with their values? I feel like when you go to a church, you can't go to a church that you don't agree. For example, if your church says everyone should cover their hair, I feel like it is pure rebellion to know that that's the rule of the church and then say, at this church I want to go to and I'm not going to cover my hair. I think that's pure rebellion. There is a church for everyone. I feel that when you go to a church, you have to obey the rules of that place. You have to honor the rules and just obey the rules. Even the Bible encourages us that we should honor the rules of where we are placed in. For example, like we should honor our leaders and all that, like in governments. So now, how much more church? So if you are there, you should just honor the rules. So go to a church that fits into your personality, your personality, and make sure that it's not your flesh also leading you, because at times your personality wants to go to a church and God is actually not leading you to that church. So even though there is a balance between your personality and there has to be a balance between your personality and the will of God. So know when you're being just in your flesh and want something, and know when it is not really about your flesh, but it's about the fact that you truly cannot serve there. So I think that was also, I was just trying churches anyway until there was this church that honestly has blessed me prior to, well, not the church, but I've been following the pastor basically, and then the person has blessed me, like I listen to the person very frequently. So I didn't want to go to that church, even though it was close to where I stayed, because I felt like it was because I knew that person, that's why I wanted to go. And that church was just starting at that period, and I was like, I didn't want to go because of that, so I didn't go. So I think I just saw the invitation again one day, and then I was like, I joined another church and joined their workers class. I didn't finish it, and I still felt, and that church,
that church me to church people.
It was a fantastic church. I loved the church, and it helped me to break something. Like, I don't like crowded places, and the church was a very big church, so it helped me to deal with that, my fear. So I really enjoyed being in that church. However, I felt like that was still not my church.
Even though it was mine.
Yes. I feel like that was not where I was supposed to be.
So let me just say something. So please, your church is not your friend's church.
Exactly.
Your friend's church is not your church. Be led to your own place, because there's a space and a place for you.
Yes. So I finally decided to go to that church, and immediately I entered that church. And no, not immediately. When I entered that church, the service was good and all. The second time I came to that church, I really felt, I felt like this was home. And then when I was worshiping, I just heard something in my spirit that told me that be planted here. So after that, I knew this was my church. However, after that experience, that I knew, okay, this was my church, I started feeling someone like I wasn't feeling fine with that church. I wanted to leave. But then I knew that I was supposed to be planted here. I just wasn't feeling comfortable anymore. I know the church I liked, but I don't know why. I was just not feeling comfortable anymore. So I then needed to overcome my own self, because now I know it's not a matter of where God will have me. It's just maybe my ego, my opinion. So which leads me to my next question to Laura. Like, do you think that expectations on what affect the way you enjoy a church?
I definitely think so. And I know that a lot of people say, like, it's better not to have expectations so you don't get disappointed, which is really true. So I think this is, for some people, this is a big issue, because some people have huge expectations, like things like, oh, when I join a church, the pastor I want to be the pastor, or I must be followed up, or nobody, after my first Sunday when they greet me or welcome me, nobody looks
paid attention to me.
Pays attention to me again after that. And really, I remember when we had such questions, or when I had to deal with people that had these expectations cut short, I had to say, have you also tried also to reach out? Have you also tried to? It says you make friends by being a friend. Have you also tried to integrate yourself with people? Because sometimes a lot of people complain that they get to a church and they feel out of place. Have you tried to be in place? Have you tried to connect yourself with people? Have you tried to, especially like with church, I think one way you can really feel at home very early is to join the workforce. Okay. Or at least do something, not necessarily the workforce, but find something to do with some other people. I think that helps a lot and helps you to speed the time within which you actually feel at home in church.
Yeah.
So and then there are other expectations people have. Maybe the singing or the dancing or other activities, or even sometimes it could even be the word that, oh, I don't like the way the word was preached today, or I don't like that we didn't have a message today, or I don't like we don't pray in tongues enough, or this and that. And a lot of people have different, from maybe where they're coming from or or their previous experiences, which is why also I firmly believe in not looking to one place to get your complete, should I say, nourishment or your complete experience. Let me say it like that. Yes, your complete. Because I remember that even though I had a stable church, I used to go for sisters meetings in another place because I love their sisters fellowship. Yeah. So especially if you're led as a child of God and led by the Spirit of God, God will always open up avenues for you to find some of those other things that you think are not in that one place, but that doesn't mean that place is not your place.
Yes.
So true. I think for a lot of people, just if God is saying this is where you should be, then He will also know how you can get every other thing you need from that place or from other places.
Sure. And I've also heard people say something like, I outgrew the church. I don't understand. I personally don't understand. So I don't know, do you have any opinion about that?
I think I do, actually.
Okay.
I think I do. So one thing I wanted to say, and maybe this is the chance, is for me, the final, should I say, clincher that helps me in choosing a church is when I get to the church and I feel like me and whatever is being preached in the church were on the same
page.
Yes. Exactly.
Like maybe I'm studying something during the week and then on Sunday I'm like,
exactly.
I get
exactly. So that was what even made me finally choose my church the first time, because I was feeling like, okay, God is telling me something, and I enter and I go to church on Sunday and the pastor is like, yes, today we're studying, and it's very similar. I think he even used the same Bible passage that I received in my own devotion during the week. That day I was like, okay, this is home. Because I know I wanted to do visiting a lot of churches like Mother here. But I didn't get to do that because the first church I entered to, thankfully, was the one I stayed with. So it's very important for you to be in the same page or the same pace with church. Now sometimes you find out that you start out and it seems like you're on the same page, but for some reason
it's not.
It doesn't keep up like that. Although some people that say they agree in church, it's honestly they're deceiving themselves or they are being deceived.
I also feel that the word outgrown a church might not be the right word.
Nah.
I don't feel you can outgrow a church. I want you to know that when you go to church, we have different people. We have some of us are just starting to know God, some who had known God, some who are at a particular level of walk with God, while some who are backsliding, and that's the truth. And while some of people are just struggling and trying to find their feet. So we have different people.
Yes.
Now, God knows what we need, and that's why it's good when you have pastors or leaders who are submitted to God.
Yeah.
God will give a word that will minister to each and every one of you in different ways.
Yes.
However, someone who is feeling like they've walked a particular walk with God might be feeling like humility is another issue that you need to understand. Might make you feel like, oh, I know that. Now, I want you to understand, when you were a child, the Bible talks in First Peter about babies. When as babies we take milk, but over time we want to start crushing the bones and all that. Now, when you're a baby, like real analogy, a baby at a point you feed a baby, and the way you're feeding them is okay for them. At a point when you feed them, they collect the spoon from you because why? They feel you are feeding them too slow, so they want to move at their own pace. Do you understand what I mean? So I feel like at the point to get the point, church is not enough to feed you anymore. You need to personally study and grow. And that's what most pastors even advocate. But the problem is that we just expect the church to dish out everything, and then you have unrealistic expectations. Another realistic expectation, like you said, like you want a particular type of relationship with the workers, the leaders, and all that. Like you said, apart from being friendly, some of us are not like the most friendly person, like
guilty. Even if they come to meet us,
the
face alone is like
no. Some of us are just naturally not. We can be cold, but not cold because I don't think I'm a cold person. But so. We're just not intentionally a bubbly person. Like
when you first meet
them, they are a little reserved, and So the person might also be withdrawn, not to come to. They just want to respect your space, even though they respect you and all that. Also understand you're not the only member.
True.
They have over 100 people they are praying for. They have quite a lot of people and they have their own personal life and struggles they are committed to. You must put that in mind. Do you know what I've learned? That God placed me in a church does not mean that the church has to cater for all my spiritual needs. I had to learn it. I realized that, like some months ago and all that, when I lost my dad and all that, I realized that it wasn't the church that God used to bring me out of the place I was, because I was really in a bad place mentally. I realized it was random people and my friends, and that's the truth. They were praying for me, and people that I probably would never have talked to. Do you understand? At every point, God always placed someone to help you through every situation. It doesn't have to come from your pastor. And that doesn't make them a bad pastor or not your shepherd. Do you know at times they even see things and pray for you but don't inform you?
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean that they're not doing their job.
Exactly.
And you will need to actually work on your emotions. And I believe that for you to even enjoy church, you have to have a little bit of, more dose of humility, not just a little bit of, because at times it's pride that makes you feel I'm bigger than this. It's pride that makes you feel I don't want to relate to someone. It's pride that makes you feel like, since they can't say hello to me, I'm also not going to say hello to them. I'm going to completely ignore them. I feel like you also have to deal with yourself and get to a place of like complete submission to God and just enjoy. Like, I feel like you're not there to serve your pastors, you're there to honor God.
Yes.
And if God placed you there, there's a position for you. Just occupy it, enjoy it. Even if you're not celebrated there, enjoy it. God sees you. At the most, you're not even supposed to be celebrated. It's God that sees our works in secret, that honors us publicly. So your goal is not to be celebrated in church. Your goal is just to do your bit and leave. And at times, I personally feel guilty because my job in a whole month, at times I only have one free weekend, like that bad. And it's not because I have just one free Sunday, but maybe I was on call on Saturday. I'm supposed to get off work on Sunday 8 a.m. Person was supposed to relieve me came 9:30, and what's the point more? My church is just one service, 8 to 10:30, and that's all. So I when I think about it, I'm like, it's not worth it. Just that. So even if my heart, I really want to do more. I want to, be more committed. I want to do more. I really desire to do more. My schedule does not permit me to do more. I feel like God honors your heart and your intent. Gentlemen, at times don't beat yourself. God honors. God sees. At the end of the day, someone even had to tell me that when you're a doctor, you are actually also honoring God in your profession.
That's true.
You are giving your best to make sure that someone stays alive. That is enough. And it doesn't still underestimate the fact that I still need a church covering. And there's this thing that people say. I want to even ask your opinion. When people say that they don't believe in being in a church. I know someone that she's a Christian. She's part of the church. She was hurt by what happened in church and all that. And then she's like, I don't go to church again. But she prays, she studies the Bible. Do you think that's actually right?
I don't know what might have pushed her to make, but I know that it's not the best. Because we humans are relational beings. Whether in church or out of church, we were created, to thrive in relationships, to thrive in communities. So I believe even in the church, in Christianity, the Bible says, do not forsake gathering of yourselves together. I believe there's power in us being together, in us being one body. There's power in us fellowshipping together. So many times, when I'm really, really down, all I need to do is just, when I was in school, it was very funny. The days that I really don't feel like going to church or prayer meeting or something, I'll be like, let me just get there. And I realized that day I'll be so blessed. I'll be like, is this what I was going to miss?
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
You're very correct. Yeah.
So there is power in coming together. You might not know it, you might not see it, but haven't you had those bad days? And you just get yourself to church, and before you know, you've forgotten, your spirit is lighter.
Yes,
the problem is still there, but it doesn't look so big anymore.
Yeah.
That's the power of worship, the power of corporate
and
prayer
community.
and community. Sometimes the pastor doesn't even say a word about it, but just the fact that you're with your other brethren, your brothers, and guys, it's family. It's you meeting your family members again. That's how church is supposed to be. Just the fact that you should be excited to get to church. Like, I'm going to meet with my other family members on Sunday, my brothers and sisters. You catch up. You say, how has your week been? You know, church is not supposed to be like, oh yes, we have to go and lead prayers on Sunday, we have to go and lead worship, we have to go and give offering again. It shouldn't be a burden, it should be a joy.
Yeah.
Where else should you be happy than in your father's house? Where should you be your freest self than in your father's house? You know?
True.
So I feel like, I'm sorry that she had to go through that, but I really feel she needs it. And sometimes, you see, I feel like we don't realize our responsibility as Christians on checking up on ours, even outside the church. Like maybe what she needs is just a small community that will start around her, and then eventually she now sees, oh, okay, I can have relationships that are free of hurt, and then she'll be drawn back to the church again. Maybe that's what she needs right now.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something that is valid, like you were saying that at times we don't know our responsibility as Christians, and you mentioned that we tend to shift those blames to our leaders, and we are also a problem. Like, because if you look at it, like if I do my responsibility as a child of God, and I meet my brother and children, like, I didn't see you in church on Sunday, are you okay? It won't be about, did my pastor call? It will be more about, you know, they kept checking upon me in church, and at the end of the day, most times you're also guilty. To be honest, I don't think I've ever called anybody in my church to check on them.
So I'm going to change that.
Yes. I'm going to work on that. You know, I said when you discuss these things, then you listen to, because now when you mention that, you realize that yes, I've never, and to be honest, and at times if I'm going through something and maybe I feel all alone, I realize that maybe because it means I'm not reaching out. And I think that we can also do better. We can. We really can. Thank you so much. So basically, anyway, so in summary, what to look out for when choosing a church is, one, is it a living church? So are you led? Be led. That's why we have the Holy Spirit. Trust me, the Holy Spirit speaks. He's always speaking. Just make sure that you are led. Be led. 3, can you work with your schedule? And that's the honest truth. Like, we are working. Well, I'm working, she's working, and we kind of have very tight schedules, and it doesn't help flexibility and all that. So you want to think about it. Most times we are even free during the week than weekends. True life situations. So you have maybe a day in a week that you don't get to do anything, and then at night you're busy till the next day. And no church is going to run at night. So our schedules are completely different, and trying to fit that in can be a struggle at times. So I just want you to know that anywhere you find to go, make sure that you can work with your schedule. Make sure it's a place that you can also still honor God. And do you think distance matter?
For me, it does. Like, maybe if you're, I think it does.
It does, because it helps
and where you are,
and if you're mobile, so many things. Because at times, okay, for example, if there's rainfall, I stay in Toronto. If there's rainfall, the hold up or the traffic, whatever you decide to use, whichever grammar you decide to use, it's always really bad. So that can deter you from saying, I probably wouldn't be able to make it to church. Or like if I stay around nearby, and you understand, I was previously staying around where my church was and all. But then at times, commitment to make you think I will wake up early and go there, or I will sleep over at my friend's place on Saturday if I have nothing to do and go there. So if there's a way you will like a church, because to be honest, at times I drive as much as 50 minutes to get to church. There's a way you will like a place
or be committed
to a place that you wouldn't mind the distance. Do you understand? So I just pray in everything. I hope you'll be able to find, wisdom in one or two things that we have said. I pray that we also change, because I realize I'm guilty. I have a lot of things I need to work on in terms of that, and I pray God help us in Jesus' name. I pray it strengthens us in Jesus' name. Well, before we go, I want to actually ask one more question about backsliding.
Okay.
So what's the role of the church in helping a Christian who backslided or who fell into sin to find their way back? Most times when I fell into sin, one of the things that I know that kept me bound was just the thought of the fact that I know better. And that in itself is pride. And you will not know that I know better. Why should I do this? Why should I? At times those are things that keep you bound. And all those things are not the voice of the enemy, because the goal of the enemy is to keep you bound, to make you feel guilty. You have been set free. You've been forgiven. Do you understand? So I feel like those periods. What do you do? Like, for example, if this person is backsliding, or you yourself know you are backsliding, like, I'm
Amen.
using
Can
it.
we be real?
Yes, babe. Because that's me personally. Like, I can't even deceive myself. Like there've been times that I've actually lost it. I've considered that maybe I can't say pack booking. I can't do you understand? Do you understand? So those times, like one of the things that kept me back was that I actually went to my pastor and I discussed with her. Like, I feel like when you cover, the Bible says, whoever covered the sin shall not prosper. And that they see there is the devil holds you when something is secret.
Yes.
Sin has a hold on you when there's secret. When it is a secret, see, when you expose it, it has no hold on you. You have exposed it and you can now walk in freedom. So I feel, what do you think is the role of the church in helping people who are backsliding? Because when I told my pastor, she actually prayed with me. She even introduced me to someone and all that. And he helped me. I even read the book then and all, and it just helped my psyche and it helped me forgive myself. Because at times when you have walked with God to a particular level, one of the things you find is that you don't forgive yourself. So it made me forgive myself. So
first, I would like us to remember that we are the church, is the people.
Yes.
So the role of the church is the role of fellow Christians.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
In somebody that when we backside, okay, just think of if it was you. What would you appreciate if you're having a tough time with God? Because we all have tough times.
Exactly.
We all have periods in time where we feel like maybe we're just not connecting or we're falling or something. What would you like? I think I would like, if I'm thinking of myself, somebody to just check up on me. Not say, why have you not been coming to church? But just say, hi, how are you? Genuinely thinking,
care.
Care. Like, what's been going on with you? How far? We've not been seeing. Hope everything is okay. And not want to force me that, you must come to church on Sunday, you must find out what's really up with me. But before that, I hope I would hope that I've had personal relationships with some people who will be able to do that. That means that as a member of church, I feel like there's some people that you should have relationships with, not just, I didn't see you in church, but you've gotten to know them, you've gotten to know, how was work, how are your children, what's up with you, you're getting to know this person on a personal level beyond even though you met in church. So then those people that can now be the ones to come and meet you on your low days and say, brother so and so, or Mura, what's up? How are you? What's going on? And then you can share with those people because it's out of church. You can share that, actually I'm just not really going through. I'm just really not feeling myself these days. I remember I had a bad patch very recently, and I just woke up that morning. I just typed a really long message to one of my friends. I wasn't expecting him to do anything, but I think it was good to know I had people I can do that with. I can just say, actually, this is what I feel like. I feel like this is fading. I'm not good in this, blah, 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 blah. And I just expressed myself. And I actually started feeling better after that. And I don't think the friend even needed to do anything, but it was good to know that I could be able to do that. So sometimes when
and not feel judged as well.
And not feel judged, right. Yeah, so, and just know that maybe the person will pray if they need to pray, the person will keep quiet if that's what it takes, but the person knows enough or is close enough, the person cares. Yeah, the person cares. She gets. So I think that's like one of the key things. Let's learn as the church, as members of the church, to really care about our fellow family members. To really care. To really care how they're doing, how is their health, to show genuine concern beyond the numbers or, you're not in church, or, you're in church, or, you should come and be a worker. Let's really care about people. And I think that caring, that relationship that we build, when we see them, is what will come to play when they are now in their low days. We can now say, what's up, how are you doing? And then they can share and express. Because especially now in our African setting, a lot of us don't like to really share what's going on. Because we're trying
because
to
can be
careful.
used against you.
Yeah.
and you see, most times, like, we just, because we have that notion, because we have had people talk to us about someone else, they have used them as an example and we know what they are struggling with. So you don't want to be that person. And I think we can do better by also making sure that when someone confides in us about their weakness, we can actually keep quiet. Because when God opens up a door of someone talking to you and all, it's because maybe God feels that there's a way you can actually console them or speak life into them. The truth of the matter is that make sure you're not that person that actually breaks that person more. Make sure you're not the person that completely shatters someone that they cannot even look to God again. Just make sure that you are not that person, because in this our religion, we are called to help each other grow. We have this community of, holding each other up and all that. That's the way the Bible. That's where I felt, because when I read about the first church in Acts of Apostles, how they sold their things to help each other, it makes me feel like it was like they cared so much that they would leave any other thing to make sure this person was fine and genuinely fine. As long as, like, I have enough, you can have the extra. So now it's more about, I feel like we're getting to a point where, which I could be guilty at times, like, whereby it's more about, am I really fine? Before I didn't know what the person that was really fine. Actually, like, oh, I'm okay. Let's sort yours out. I will come back to mine later. I pray that God help us to be that selfless.
I actually wanted to add that point, that we should not forget that when we're looking for a church, we're looking for a community, we should be also thinking about how much we can give and not how much we can get. Because a lot of the time we're always thinking, oh, I want a place where I can get this, can get this, worship is good. What about you sitting down thinking, okay, I want a place where I'll be able to serve in this way. I want a place where I'll be able to help them build a community. I want a place where I'll be able to, do this or do that by reason of what God has called me to do, or what I know that I've been blessed with, or the experiences I've had in the past. So let's also remind ourselves of these things, that we are called to give. Our example is Jesus, and He gave everything. Right, so that's also one thing to keep at the forefront when we're looking for a church, looking for a community, helping a friend that has fallen. What can we give? How can I help this person?
Oh, thank you so much, Rura, for coming. I had fun filming this. I hope you were blessed. In fact, I'm blessed. I've already, jotted some points that I'm going to work on as well. I hope you too have listened to something that you would also work on.
How about they put in the comment section what they look for in
their
own
exactly. Please, is there anything you look for in church that you felt maybe we didn't mention or you want to add? Please let the comments get busy and let's have a discussion on it.
They can always be a part 2.
And then we can discuss it. Thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and watch out for the next video. It's going to be interesting. Thank you so much. Bye.